Thanks for joining us and welcome to Blunt Business. I'm your host, Sean Eubanks of STRAINWISE Consulting, and on our show today, we have Darcy Bomford, who is the CEO and Director of True Leaf Medicine International Limited, which is a Canadian-based health and wellness company. The company has two subsidiaries. One is called True Leaf Pet, and the other is True Leaf Medicine. While True Leaf Pet is dedicated to developing functional hemp-based pet products, True Leaf Medicine is a licensed producer, applicant, and has reached the final stage of becoming a supplier of medicinal cannabis products for both people and pets under the Canadian government's legal cannabis program. True Leaf Pet is pioneering the pet supplement market with its innovative and safe hemp-based product line. True Leaf Pet has also tripled its product line within 18 months of launch, secured distributions throughout the US, Canada, Europe, and New Zealand, and has seen revenue grow significantly month over month. True Leaf Medical has been given approval by Health Canada to build its grow facility and will be subject to a Health Canada security inspection upon completion for the cultivation, manufacture, and distribution of cannabis products. Darcy himself has 3 decades of executive management experience and a 30-year history of manufacturing pet products in 3 federally inspected plants throughout the United States and Canada. He is highly adept at building brands through corporate vision, strategy, and the successful development of relationships with team members and strategic partners. Darcy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sean. That was a great intro. Could have done it better myself.
Hey, thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. Congratulations on your success. I think at the end of this podcast, people are going to start to understand what True Leaf is about. You have some unique things. We'll talk about Reg A Plus and a couple of opportunities, but congratulations so far. It's really impressive what you've accomplished. So you have 2 businesses. First, I kind of touched on that. Is there anything you want to expound on, kind of introducing the difference between the hemp-based pet products and the other side?
No, I can kind of tell you how we got there. Initially, when we applied under Canada's it's called the MMPR program at that time, and we were one of the very early companies in Canada to apply for a medicinal cannabis license to produce medicinal cannabis in Canada and sell it direct to consumer. But soon after we applied, which was in July 2013, there's literally almost over 1,000 companies that applied that year, and the whole program slowed to a trickle. Right, and the approval process was very slow, and that's specifically why we did a segue into the pet industry and started up True Leaf Pet, so it was able to launch some products, hemp seed based, and generate some revenue while we were waiting for our cannabis approval in Canada. So that's where we ended up with the 2 different divisions.
Yeah, and so to some of our listeners, understanding you're federally compliant in both Canada and the United States, while other CBD competitors in the U.S. are all federally illegal. Can you expound on that?
Yeah, that's correct. Our pet formulations are supplements for pets, and the primary active ingredient in 3 formulations is hemp seed. And we don't touch the leaf, which makes our product completely federally legal in all U.S. states. And we do add other ingredients to support the hemp seed. And the function of the hemp seed is primarily omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, and some other active ingredients. But we also add, for example, we have a hip and joint product. We add turmeric and some other ingredients for hip and joint support. And we have a calming product, and we have an immune and heart product. So primarily they're legal because we don't touch the leaf, and there's no CBD or THC, of course, in the products either.
Yeah, and so you think that you're best positioned to generate revenue today because of your safe hemp-based products. But then you have tomorrow with your medicinal marijuana license. So you're kind of touching both sides, sort of hedging your bets there.
Yeah. I think CBD does hold an incredible amount of promise, and we are going to be doing some research and R&D on CBD. In Canada, though, we won't launch CBD products for pets until it's legal, right? And the same goes for the U.S. market too. Hopefully, at some point, federal rules around CBD from hemp in the U.S. change, and then we'll be in a good position to launch a further range of products that do contain CBD. But until that happens, we're not going down that road.
And right now, your focus, Darcy, is on raising capital or providing a platform for people to invest directly into TrueLeaf. That's really your focus right now, right?
Yeah, and we were before a small public company in Canada. We're trading on the CSE exchange, and then earlier this year we did a co-listing on the OTC markets in the U.S. And but we also saw, a pretty innovative way to raise money in the U.S. markets. It's called Reg A Plus, and it's a form of equity crowdfunding. So TrueLeaf ended up being the first public company from Canada to be approved for Reg A Plus in the U.S. and sanctioned by the SEC. So it's pretty cool. It's a great place to be. It took us 11 months to get there. We started in January and we were approved in November. And our initial target is $10 million Canadian, and it looks like we're going to reach that already this month. So it's been a great success so far with the raise.
Wow, congratulations. And so are you going to use most of that $10 million for the production facility in British Columbia, or what are what usage are you going to implement there with that capital?
Yeah, that's correct. We're probably going to see at least $8.5 million directed towards the cannabis facility.
Okay.
And then obviously there's some costs associated with the raise, and then we'll have a little bit left over for the pet business as well. And then we'll be doing another raise later this year.
Are you retrofitting a building? Are you building from scratch, brand new?
Yeah, well, we originally had an option to lease a 16,000 square foot building on a 40-acre parcel in the interior BC, a little town called Lumbee. And as the market heated up earlier this year, or last year, we actually undertook to buy the complete 40-acre parcel, so we had an option to buy. And then with the success of our raise, and we're at over $5 million US today already, we executed the option to buy the complete 40 acres. So we'll be actually tearing down the older building. It made more sense to tear it down and actually build a brand new building on the site. So that's what we'll be doing as we move forward.
And are you growing greenhouse or outdoor or a combination of both?
Initially, it'll be a 16,000 square foot indoor grow, and it'll be a hydroponic operation, wash down rooms, probably close to being pharmaceutical grade. For sure, it'll be food grade.
Mm-hmm.
Using special composite walls and very high level construction. Then we're going to have a central hub, about a 9,000 square foot central hub that houses the offices, the lab, future extraction facility there. And then that hub we can add other wings as we grow the business. So we can add 2 or 3 other 16,000 square foot grow wings. And then as we go forward, we are looking at the greenhouse concept. And it also looks like Health Canada is going to allow maybe some outdoor growing as well. So we have a number of different options in front of us.
And is the point to secure the 40 acres, is it just to have a secure location, or what was the point behind that if you're not focused on the outdoor?
Well, there's room there to build over 1 million square feet if needed, right? It depends on how the market unfolds, but we see, very high quality, hydroponically grown cannabis being in high demand. There's a lot of production coming online this year, but whether or not it's really high grade and will meet the needs of the cannabis connoisseur, that's another question, right? So having the large location gives us a lot of room to do different options of growing in the future, and it's a great location. Lumbee's a small town, and they're really looking for new industry, so they're anxious to have us there to grow the company.
Excellent. Well, we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be rejoined by Darcy Bomford, who is the CEO and Director of TrueLeaf. During the break, check out his website at www.invest.trueleaf, Leaf.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Darcy, great job. Hey, we're going to launch into the website next. Is there anything in particular you want to cover for sure?
You do the invest.trueleaf site?
Yep, we are. We've got your talking points. We're good to go.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
Welcome back to Blunt Business. I'm your host, Sean Eubanks, and we have been talking to Darcy Bomford, who is the CEO and director of TrueLeaf. Welcome back, Darcy.
Yeah, good to be here.
So, director and CEO, which is more fun, being the director or the CEO?
Probably director. Yeah, being a CEO obviously comes with a lot of responsibility, but yeah, we're having fun at the same time too.
Yeah, if you're the director, you can just blame the CEO, right? Say, it's not me, it's the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you have to fire the director, you still have a job. You're good.
That's right.
Okay, so
Perks of both, right?
absolutely. So on your website, which is invest.trueleaf.com, you actually have a button there that's Invest Now. And so this Regulation A Plus is something that's probably new to people, crowdfunding, but you have a way right now for people to invest in your company. You have a lot of good frequently asked questions on there. You break down who they're investing in, how much capital you can use. There's some citizen requirements here. I think you do a tremendous job of just explaining what it is and what you're using the capital for. So you've got David Dobkin, who is of Bowstead Securities. He's the lead underwriter. I think when people are listening, they need to understand that the team behind you is phenomenal, and that these the underwriters, which is just crucial to offerings and IPOs. They're very, very, very strong, and you sound like you have an incredible team behind you.
Yeah, we're really happy. We spent a lot of time and capital, getting this far. And it is true, originally when we first looked at crowdfunding, we thought maybe we could raise all of the funds specifically from the crowd only, and which would be great, but I think, it takes an absolute ton of marketing to be able to generate that much interest from the crowd. And as we moved forward, we realized that we were going to need more capital. So, halfway through the process, we started in January, and then a few months in, we realized, we're going to need some more capital, and the cannabis market was definitely heating up, so we wanted to make sure we had enough to finish the facility in Lumbee. And we thought, we better backstop the raise from the crowd and have some institutional and retail funds come into the company as well. And that's when we came across David Dobkin at Bowstead. And they've already done a few crowdfunding raises. Reg A Plus raises have been very successful. We really hit it off. So that's when we signed up Bowstead as the underwriter.
Yeah, and so you can raise up to $50 million doing this, right? The Reg A platform?
Yeah, you can raise up to $50 million every year, actually, in the Reg A Plus platform.
Incredible. And so for our listeners, you're able to invest here whether you're an accredited or non-accredited investor. This is fascinating to me. So this Jobs Act came out in June of 2015, the Obama administration. Interesting because it's kind of deregulatory in nature, and but also I think a tremendous opportunity. I feel like it should have been announced better, because it's an incredible opportunity, but you've seized on it, and you've got a way for people to participate, the everyday guy that doesn't have to jump through the hoops of accreditation and improve capital and income and all those things. So you've got an incredible platform here.
Yeah, and probably long overdue. The whole world is going online, and really this is probably the start of the capital markets going online as well. And as you mentioned, it gives everybody the chance to actually own equity in a company that they support without having to go through the traditional channels of, getting a brokerage house involved and going through all the paperwork.
Yeah,
You can just click on our website and actually buy equity right off of our website, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. You have, it's interesting. I spoke with someone in Las Vegas last year, 2017, and it was interesting. He pulled me aside and said, "Hey, look, I love the fact that the United States is stumbling with prohibition, and because right now Canada has a wide open field, a chance to gain tremendous market share. So not only just Canada having a better, being legal, that advantage, you've got import-export possibilities, but now you're doing this Regulation A+. How long do you think, Darcy, you're going to have an advantage here? You mentioned even on your website that there are a lot of people that are flooding into the industry, and people know that. I think everybody's at least taking a look at it. But, you seem to have a competitive advantage for the foreseeable future here.
Yeah, it was an opportunity that we took. The timing is perfect, really. Reg A Plus, it is early on, but the other companies that have entered the space have been very successful. And it's interesting that, under the Jobs Act, coincidentally at the same time, a group from Canada went down and approached, I'm not sure if it was Obama, but approached a group that was putting it together and said, look, can Canada tag along under this Jobs Act Reg A Plus platform? And they said, sure, why not? So Canada is actually the only country in the world right now that can participate under this financing model in the U.S. And we're the first company to do it and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and you have a minimal investment here of 350 Canadian dollars, right? So low entry point for someone to buy in. I mean, I have friends right now that are buying into Bitcoin at as high as it is now, and they're, that micro market is developed there where they're allowed to just they don't have to buy a full coin, right? Spend the 16,000 or whatever the number is right now. So they're able to kind of participate in that movement, and some guys have made 30% in the last month just on that, even with the dips and the spikes that's happening. Yeah. But I really love the fact that you're allowing someone to commit a small amount of capital and share in your success.
Yeah, we did that purposely, right? We wanted to really have the people that buy our products, and I guess specifically our pet products, because pet people are passionate people. They love their pets just like their own kids. And, allowing them to actually participate in the equity of our company, we thought was a great idea. And, the processing cost for every equity order is the same, right? So, some cases we're probably not making a lot of money on the $350 order, but we feel it's worth it because those shareholders are going to be long-term supporters of the company.
Yeah, and then Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Darcy. I interrupted you.
Yeah, that's really was our focus, was to try and spread out our shareholder base and have shareholders that really love what we're doing, support the company long-term, and basically in it for the long. They're long-term shareholders. They're not going to sell it specifically if it raises maybe 5 or 10%. Right? Stay there for a while and hopefully keep it in their safety deposit box as a long-term investment.
Yeah, and so for people concerned about that are looking at you from the United States, most of the times in the United States you get the license approved first, you're granted the license, then you begin the design and build out phase. In this case, you're in the build out phase of the process. Tell me, as a potential investor, what I need to hear right now that's going to make me feel secure that you're going to get that license.
Yeah, that's a very common question, and unfortunately that's kind of the way the program is set up here in Canada. And I guess it evolved that way because there's so many companies that jumped into the race to get a license and actually started building, right? So at this point in time, the most crucial milestone, apart from the first initial application, is security clearance. And we waited over 2 years to just go through this high-level security clearance with all of our officers and directors and higher-level people in the plant. And now, essentially, we've submitted all the paperwork. We've outlined all of our QA plans. Security is very important. So there's a high-level security plan, and there's a business plan attached. So we've passed all of those milestones. And Health Canada now has basically said, okay, you're approved. You have to now build the building. And then you can actually, when the facility's done, you can send them a video, pictures of the inside of the plant, copies of all the paperwork, and then they give you a license to grow. And then you grow 3 lots of cannabis. And then after that, it's completed and they inspect it and test the product, and you get a license to sell. So every indication is that companies that go through those final steps will get a license.
Yeah. I appreciate you clearing that up, Darcy, because that's very similar to what we do in the United States. You're getting basically essentially a provisional license. You still want it, and you need to prove that you're operational. So I think from an investment standpoint, something people in the cannabis space are going to be very comfortable with. It's not a big leap of faith to think that you're going to get that license.
Yeah, we've been sticking it out for 4 years. We've done everything by the books. We've got a great team and a solid business plan, so we're 100% confident that we will get the license.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be rejoined by Darcy Bomford, who is the CEO and Director of TrueLeaf. During the break, check out his website, which is www.invest.trueleaf.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, Darcy, last segment. You ready?
Yeah, you bet.
All right. Welcome back to Blunt Business. I'm your host, Sean Eubanks, and we have been talking to Darcy Bomford, who is the CEO and Director of TrueLeaf. Welcome back to the show, Darcy.
You bet. Thanks, Sean.
So TrueLeaf is the only company to offer quality of life cannabis products for both people and pets. That's surprising to me. Why do you think other people aren't in this space?
Well, I think because we initially started out as a cannabis company applicant, and then I personally have over 30 years experience in the pet industry, and I exited that company at a 1-year non-compete. So I took the path into the cannabis space, and then we had to slow down our application process, and non-compete was up, so we pivoted into the pet industry, and we developed a great product line and started generating revenue there. And then, lo and behold, our government changed. Prime Minister Trudeau was elected, and he probably was elected in good part to his pro-cannabis platform. Right? So all of a sudden, the cannabis industry in Canada took a turn, and now we have these two divisions, and we have two separate teams that we're building out. The TrueLeaf Pet team is already in place and doing really well. And now we're building out the TrueLeaf Med side of the business.
Yeah, and so looking at your website here, Darcy, something that jumps out at me is the strength of your team. I'm sure you get asked that question quite a bit from potential investors, but you have the former premier of British Columbia and the mayor of Vancouver, who is the chairman, Mr. Michael Harcourt. How did you land that gentleman to your team?
Yeah, absolutely great guy. And early on, we were looking for people to support what we were doing, and Mike was recommended by a friend of mine. He joined the company right at the very beginning, and he's been with us ever since.
Excellent. Yeah, that's wonderful. Because people invest in teams, as you know. You got an incredible platform here where people can click on and invest now, 350 Canadian dollars, and then there's other information here which will allow people to basically commit up to 10% of their income, which is great because your annual income, so it protects investors there. Which is excellent, but it also notes that there's no restrictions for this Regulation A+ offering, no restrictions at all for accredited investors. Are you finding most of your capital right now is coming, the initial $10 million that you've almost hit, is that coming from accredited investors, or are you picking up small-time guys along the way?
Yeah, we have, you're probably right, most of it is accredited investors, but I think we'll probably end up somewhere around 1,000 smaller investors from the crowd, and then the rest will come from institutional, retail, family office, such.
Excellent. Well, I want to congratulate you on everything you've got going on. You've got an outstanding team here. On your website, you've got basically an offering summary here. It tells you what the share price is currently, details on that. It talks about investment minimum. The company traction is there. What else do we need to know? If I'm on the fence about investing, tell me something that's going to get me off the fence and move forward and commit to some type of capital with TrueLeaf.
Yeah, well, the best thing right now is that our stock price is doing incredibly well. The offering today is at 70 cents Canadian, and as of right now, we're trading, just over, something like that right now, $1.40. So
Wow.
it's, you're instantly making money, and there's just so much interest in the space right now that people are buying and selling the stock out of the market. Where if you actually go to our website, you can actually buy equity for 70 cents, right? And it's trading at $1.45 right now. So fantastic opportunity, and we hope that it's going to keep going higher. The timing is right. Good luck. It's on our side right now too. So it's a perfect time to get into the cannabis industry for sure.
Yeah, it's tremendous growth. I mean, the fundamentals behind your company and what you're doing, the pet market is I think around 50 billion total, tremendous market in the United States anyway. So you're positioned there, you're hedged against that, you've got great indication, you've already raised a ton of money. You got all this momentum in your place. It just seems like an incredible deal. Are you worried at all, Darcy, about the massive, what some people are calling a bubble for the cannabis stocks in Canada?
Well, I think investors have to be careful. They have to look at the companies they're investing in and check their share structure, their market cap. Definitely some of them are overvalued. I think we still have a long ways to go. We have a pretty solid foundation there. We are generating revenue, right? We closed on just under 800,000 sales for half of our fiscal year, which is a great start. And that was all from the Trulieve Pet side. And we expect that division to carry on and generate more revenue. To break even with that division is just a little over $2 million. So we have a little ways to go, but a really good solid start of revenue. And on the medicinal cannabis side, we're still we probably won't be generating revenue until fall this year, and our break even will probably be a year out, right? So
sure,
you have to be careful where you're investing in, but definitely there's a huge market in front of us, huge opportunity.
Do you have any plans for growth? I mean, are you thinking about maybe pushing into the retail side of things, or do you want to stay on the cultivation, processing, manufacturing, and then maybe acquire some other companies that make sense, or have you guys thought about growth?
We're focusing our efforts with Trulieve on the medicinal side, so we're going to be marketing to naturopathic doctors and clinics. So, we may team up with naturopathic clinics and offer sort of a Trulieve system so that they can prescribe and recommend our products to their patients. But also on the other side, too, it sort of depends on how the market rolls out. The government still has some announcements to make on how it's going to be distributed.
Right.
In Canada, LPs or licensed producers are allowed to market nationwide via e-commerce, but every province will have a different set of regulations, right? So in BC, they're still firming it up. It's going to be distributed by the liquor board, and they're going to have private and public retailers, right? So we'll see at some point there might be an opportunity for us to also open up retail locations.
We've had some stumbling in the United States with Nevada's rollout. Washington had some issues. Each state has had something that's kind of come up, and it's been a learning process. But most would agree Nevada's distribution model was challenged, flawed from the beginning. California's just now rolling that out and seems to have learned some lessons. Is there a province in Canada that you prefer over the other as far as more of a free market approach, or are all the provinces sort of trying to learn as much as they can, figure it out, and try to roll out a similar program?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think British Columbia is well positioned to be sort of the innovator in Canada. BC is kind of like California to the U.S. It's, I guess you call it the bellwether province. A lot of trends start here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the West Coast lifestyle, pretty laid back. And I think probably cannabis consumption in British Columbia is higher than anywhere else in Canada.
Right.
And it does look like they are adopting this private-public model, right, which will allow dispensaries to continue to sell product. Although that product will probably have to come from a licensed producer, which is fine by us. It'll pass all the QA requirements.
Well, and the liquor model has worked, right? I mean, it's not what we do in the United States, but it's absolutely worked for Canada. So hopefully they'll be able to follow suit, and it'll start to smooth out.
Yeah, they need one provincial government body to manage the distribution. So, I guess it makes sense to use the liquor control board. They have warehouses, they have some security in place already. I kind of doubt they'll be selling cannabis in liquor stores. Probably not a good idea. But I'm confident they'll figure out a system that works.
Yeah, and just with the liquor board actually, managing that, because when we look at the United States and we look at issues, the more bureaucracy and the more agencies that are involved, the more cost gets driven up, right? When you're collecting taxes and other things, it just ends up the consumer always ends up paying for that. So yeah, I wasn't alluding to liquor and marijuana being sold in the same spot. I wouldn't. I mean, it would be cool if Canada did it, but I don't think we will do that either.
Yeah, the government's taken a pretty good approach. They know that the black market is the main source of supply right now, so they've kept the taxation levels pretty low. As you mentioned, in the U.S., some of the states start out with these huge levels of taxation at different it looks like all in all they're being pretty reasonable with the whole program. And I think they've learned also from going out to the U.S. and see what worked and what didn't down there. So we have the advantage of starting a little later, but Canada is going to be the first G7 country in the world to have a federally legal cannabis program. So all eyes are on Canada right now, so we have to move forward, which is a pretty cool place to be.
Absolutely. Congratulations on that. I applaud that effort and the Canadian people and everybody that went ahead and made it legal. I'm hoping that that opens up for clinical trials and all of the much needed progress that's in the industry. I definitely applaud you for what you're doing for pets. I think you're strategically in place there. You're in a great spot, obviously a well-established market. But also one of the unknown things, I mean, you're applicant number 48 out of 1,500 applicants. So for your license in Canada. So that is, you're way ahead of the game there. You're one of the earliest applicants. Let me ask you this, Darcy. Has the program reached out to you for advice or helping you shape regulations? Or are they reaching out to people inside the industry like you, who's obviously a leader? Is that something you've been able to participate in, or have you just been able to make suggestions maybe from afar?
Yeah, the government, the federal government and the provincial government has reached out at different times for input from companies and from the public. And each time we've had an opportunity to send some of our recommendations, which is great. I'm not sure if they're all going to be adopted or not, but I think the biggest one is we are hoping that naturopathic doctors would have the ability to actually, prescribe cannabis. So that still remains to be seen. But I think under the recreational program, naturopathic doctors can still, recommend products. So that's probably working. But things are going great. We're really happy with our pet division, and we have a really unique tagline called "Return to Love," and that, of course, comes from the unconditional love that people get from their pets every day. But it also, transfers to people too, and that we can learn from our pets and become better humans as a result. So that "Return to Love" is our tagline for the entire company. Return to love to your pets, and return to love to yourself and to humankind at the same time. Right? So it's a tagline that we're really proud of, and we think really resonates with our consumers.
Absolutely. Well, Darcy, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a great conversation, and I appreciate what you're doing for the industry. You're a pioneer, of course. I'm sure you hear this all the time with press releases and all the stuff and all the media attention that you're getting and all the success that you're having. But I really want to tell you thank you for what you're doing in the industry, and I wish you nothing but success in the future.
Hey, Sean, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's a great place to be right now, and good luck with your show.
Absolutely. We do need to take a break, guys. When we come back, we'll be joined by Jay Kotzker, who is an attorney, and we're going to talk about social, political, and economical issues that are relevant in the cannabis industry here today. So stay tuned. And also on the break, don't forget to check out Darcy's website at www.invest.trueleaf.com and reach out to them. And if you're inclined, have some conversations about possibly investing. So